All right, so here at the top right-hand corner of ESC Cloud Kingdom, we have our green Zerg player representative. It's GoSu taking 3 games in a row. As soon as my camera actually wants to switch back,
there we go.
It's GoSu.ViBe. And we'll leave it on there a couple more seconds. Down here at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player, formerly of Slayers, now on CheckSix. It is Sleep.
Yeah, man, and Sleep is good. This is going to be definitely ViBe's toughest opponent yet. ZVZ is a very volatile matchup, as we've seen. Advantages can be gained and lost in a matter of seconds. We're not talking about like regular seconds. We're even talking like Blizzard seconds.
Ooh.
Man, those are extra fast seconds.
That's quick.
They're faster, quote unquote, than the average second. So, yeah, ViBe's gonna have his work cut out for him. He's already up 3-0. So even if he does lose this game, he's actually done quite well for his team.
Yes, he has, and Sleep decides to do an extractor trick as well. ViBe just going to wait for the Overlord finish, puts up 3 drones at a time, so very, very small differences between these two players, and we've noticed that difference between Korean players and foreigners quite a bit. You mentioned that a lot of Korean players love to go for that extractor trick.
Yeah, it's always been really interesting to me that the Korean players tend to do that quite a bit more than the foreign players, and I've never actually just sat down and asked. You know, I've never pulled the Korean players and the foreign players and asked them why this, why that. The foreign players, I'm sure, would say, oh, well, because you get a little bit of a mineral advantage if you go for 9 Overlord. And the Korean players, I don't know. I mean, it could just be force of habit from Brood War. It could just be because it's more stuff to do. It looks flashier, so...
You know why I extractor trick?
Why?
It's because the only times I play Zerg are when I'm 4v4ing or I'm in mono battles, and it's because I forget to build an Overlord. Yeah, standard.
Yeah, it's a good reason. You know, back in the day, I used to just 10 pool and then double extractor trick. That's a good reason to do it. Get some Zerglings out a little bit early.
I like it. I like it. That's cute. That's cute.
9 pool, I guess you could do. Oh. And yeah, so we've got pretty normal opening from both these players. ViBe going for that 14-14 again. And actually both players, I believe, going for the 14-14.
Yeah, ViBe did decide to start an Overlord a little bit faster than Sleep did. Sleep prioritizing the Lings and Queen that comes out now. But that's really the only difference between our two players. And then Sleep, of course, going to be on Zergling speed just as fast as his opponents.
Well, I've noticed that ViBe likes to get his Overlord on 16, and most Zergs like to get theirs on 15 with this sort of opening. And it does slow things down just a little bit, but doesn't make really all that much of a difference.
Right.
Kind of something interesting to note. I tend to feel like 15 is a better time to get it, just because it's more important that you get those units out a little bit earlier. But both players playing about as mirrored as you can in this regard here. But ViBe, though, going for a couple extra Lings behind this expansion. So he's going to try to force his opponent back, maybe even deny a little bit of scouting and pull a little bit of pressure on.
That's very possible, yeah. He's going to be on 8 Lings here in just a second. Of course, that has given Sleep a little bit of an advantage in overall economy, and ViBe actually poking out with a few of those now, going underneath the Space Shark. Of course, Space Shark sees all. Sleep going to be able to sneak in with the Zergling.
Yep, looks like he's going to see that hatchery here, and so ViBe's in a situation now. He doesn't know it, but he needs to do damage with these Zerglings. If he doesn't kill off some drones, he's going to be behind economically here.
Yeah, actually starting to go after the hatchery for now, and Sleep running around his opponent's base with 1 Zergling, and gotta say, actually, ViBe doing some significant damage to the hatchery, but not going to be able to sneak on by. Sleep reacting very quickly with Queen and a couple additional Lings there. Already a Baneling Nest being put up for him as well.
Yeah, and this is starting to look a little bit dangerous already for ViBe. Look at that. Just not quite as many, well, I guess he is, not quite as much tech here going up. Okay, I just got, I was looking at the production queue while I was talking, and I started thinking about other things while I was saying a sentence, and then things just kind of fell apart from there. It's like, that happens sometimes. You're like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, but then you start talking about it, and something else catches your interest, and you get totally distracted.
So it was the 100th anniversary of the Titanic sinking the other day.
No way.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
No, I'm sorry. That was you were talking about random things. Anyway.
I got distracted. Do you see me latch onto that right away?
Yes.
Completely ignoring the fact that Sleep is putting some pressure on with Zerglings. And here's the thing. Sleep has... does he have more drones right now, actually?
Let's take a look. He is sitting on... a little bit more. Yeah.
About the same, yeah.
And, guys, we did that as a joke, intentionally, not paying attention to the game, so can imagine some angry forum goers. When they're talking. We have a couple of Banelings morphing in right now for Sleep. That's what angry trolls talk like. Do you not know?
Villains in, their lair, they, whisper, we must.
Why didn't no one talk like 30 gangsters anymore? All right, so the
30 gangsters. Well, I imagine they just sound like a group of regular people.
30s. Anyway, and Baneling's taking out a couple of units there, but honestly, ViBe holding that pretty decently. Now coming up with a round of 10 drones afterwards. He was saving those larvae, seeing how that engagement actually came out, but it went out pretty well for him, and so he can drone up afterwards.
Baneling Wars, though, man, you never know what's going to happen, 2 seconds down the line. I play Zerg right now, and I don't mind ZVZ, but I hate playing Baneling Wars. It's so stressful, man.
Yeah.
It's so stressful. So both these players in a position where they need to be very, very aware of everything that's going on in or near their bases and near their opponent's base as well. Very quick, again, third expansion for ViBe here. So taking a little bit of a risk early on. We'll have to see if Sleep decides to capitalize on it. He does know it's coming up because he does have an Overlord in position right away.
Yes, he does. Can see that right away. And we'll see if he decides what he decides to do in response. Actually taking a third himself. So, oh boy, our first CVZ today was 42 minutes. Maybe in store for another long one.
Yeah, no kidding. ViBe this time being the one to go for the Roach Warren and the +1 missile attacks a little bit earlier than his opponent here. And looks like Sleep gets away there with those Banelings. Not going to lose any to the Zerglings of ViBe. And, that was a Banelings just sitting up there on the top. Paying attention.
On hold position, not manually detonating either. Queen does manage to snag a Zergling kill there.
Yeah, ViBe does see everything he kind of needs to see at this point. Sees that his opponent is still staying on Lings and Banelings, and look at this, Sleep with a lot of Zerglings right now. ViBe might need to cancel this.
Yeah, very possible. He was sending some drones over. He's got a couple of Banelings as well. Will the Banelings connect? A couple of them hit. Ooh, pretty good, but that hatchery is getting very, very low. Sleep actually just running directly into that hatchery, wanting to kill it as quick as possible. 60, 30, 10, and dead.
That's it. Wow, the very last Zergling delivering the killing blow there.
Wow.
That was about as close as it can be, and that is an unfortunate situation for ViBe. That's another extra amount of resources he's going to need to spend, and his opponent's third is done. So ViBe's in a position now where he needs to do some damage. He does have the drone lead, which is kind of nice. Sleep's not going to be able to utilize that third quite as well as ViBe would have, but
he does have it. He can take the production from it at least.
It's a tenuous situation. He's going to gain the larva that base does provide.
Yes, he does, and he's actually got a considerable number of Zerglings on the field. 34 Zerglings, 6 Banelings to his opponent, just 9 Lings. But of course, there are 6 Roaches coming up now. That's the big development, but he is going to force ViBe to cancel his base once again.
Yeah, going for Roaches and upgrades and a third is a little bit of a risk. In Sleep, you can see him try to capitalize on that. Even if your opponent goes Roaches, if you just make a ton of Speedlings early on, you can just overrun them. And Sleep's been doing a good job of doing just that so far, denying that third base once, and possibly doing it again here. He's got another huge group of Lings coming in.
Yes, he does. So has already been able to knock that out, and he's got an infestation pit on the way as well, bypassing Roaches altogether for now, going straight into Infestors.
Yep. And it looks like this time, though, ViBe is ready, picking off those Banelings there.
Yeah. And we'll see if Sleep's going to be able to make his way back in. No, ViBe already shifting his units back to protect that very fragile third. Now, though, Sleep has caught up and passed ViBe ahead in workers, up by 5 at the moment, and with a pretty stout army. But, of course, ViBe sitting on so many Roaches, another 10 just popping up now.
Yeah, he cut drones to get out a big army here, so we'll have to see how soon he wants to go ahead and use that. Yep, those are going to need to get canceled. There we go. And so, infestation pit coming up for ViBe as well.
Yeah.
Get his macro hatch. Nope, that's actually the third again. And there it is, immediately getting canceled. Oh, right at the very end. Oh,
no kidding.
All right, well, now ViBe is in a situation where he does absolutely need to do damage with this. Otherwise, he is in a very distinct position of losing the game. We'll have to see what happens here. He is still ahead on supply, but oh, so many Banelings. They could soften up those Roaches.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but
yeah, they did a little bit of damage, but not too much. It's mostly the Spine Crawlers, and he was very, very supply blocked. Sleep was actually way supply blocked, so he can only put up 1 Infestor, even after starting those Pathogen Glands. He's got another 40 Zerglings on the way. He's got to do something to start whittling these down. He's done a pretty effective job of knocking out the first line of Roaches, but of course will start to need those Infestors very, very soon.
Yeah, those Spine Crawlers helped him out quite a bit there. If he hadn't had those, that third base could have definitely died right there. ViBe trying to re-expand a third time at his third base location here. The supply is even now between both players.
And it looks like Sleep is just going to move down and take out this Roach Force. Got to watch out for that Infestor. Okay, backs away just in time. So these Lings, actually against the small number of Roaches, proving to be pretty effective. Could land a Fungal on the ramp there against a lot of units, and does.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem. +2 attack finishing just now for ViBe, so he is kind of dedicated to Roaches here. And he needs to make them effective. Oh, look at this. Another possible third base denial from Sleep. This would be the 4th time now that ViBe will have to rebuild this.
Wow, that's so frustrating.
Yeah, getting canceled yet again.
No kidding, man. And it looks like these Zerglings are going to continue to run on by. They won't be able to kill too many Roaches, though, smartly deciding to move back. That drone did burrow out of the way, but Sleep, been the recipient of this third base for so long, it's worked out incredibly well for him.
Yeah, no kidding. Sleep has just done such a great job denying that base. I mean, with the amount of Roaches that ViBe is making, he's kind of running out of resources pretty quick here.
Yeah, let's see now, though. Sleep is pulling back. He's got a ton of resources himself. A fair number of Infestors, do not get me wrong, but, you know, not a lot of oomph in a straight-line army, you know?
Yeah, yep. Well, it's a good position for the Roaches, unless some Infestors come along. And here comes the Zergling counterattack again from Sleep.
Man.
Yeah, it's going to need to get canceled again.
This is, I believe, the 5th time in this game now?
It'll be the 5th time he'll need to try to rebuild it.
Yes.
Does manage to save the drone, though. That's good.
Well, let's see here, though, as Zerglings on hold position a couple of different times, going to sneak their way into the main and taking out a Queen and probably a couple of drones here as well. No, actually, the drones just burrowing themselves along with the Queen, so ViBe doing a nice job of saving everything here, but yet more minerals lost and another Zergling counterattack into the third.
Sleep is just doing an amazing job of denying this third over and over again with that group of Speedlings, and ViBe, you know, without having Infestors himself or anything like that, he has no way to stop those Speedlings. They can just kind of run all over the map and do basically whatever they want.
This feels like one of those vaudeville comedies or something like that, where the guy's like trying to build a card house and like every conceivable combination of effects like knocks it over every time.
Yeah.
And ViBe angrily having to put that hatch back up over and over and over again. He still does have a supply advantage. He has the stronger frontline army for now. But of course, another 7 Infestors are being added, and Sleep's going to be on 15. And finally, the 17-minute Roach Horn coming out now.
Yep, that's right. He's got the Infestors out to make that work. And ViBe trying to re-expand again, getting his macro hatch this time around. And yeah, like you mentioned, he does have a decent army here. In fact, he's got as many Roaches as Sleep has Lings at the moment until these spawn that are building right now. But they really aren't doing ViBe any good. You know, I mean, he can't move out on the map. He's too vulnerable to counterattacks right now. Sleep has just got him in a great position here.
Oh, pretty good catch with the fungal growth. Yeah, he does manage to pin down a lot of Zerglings. They're all very, very low health, so as long as he burrows these drones... Oh, actually, Sleep just going to go after the Roach Warren.
Roach Warren, yeah.
Bye-bye. Very nice job. Oh, the transfusion hit the Baneling Nest.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does happen.
All right. Well, it is 177 supply to 118 at the moment, but we have our first Infestor hit squads out on the map now.
Yeah, Sleep likes to play a very kind of crazy, dynamic, aggressive game. That's kind of like how he always has sort of played. It's interesting. You do see a few little similarities to how Sleep plays ZVZ and how his teammate Koka does, or former teammate, I guess.
Yeah.
Sleep, of course, not on Slayers anymore, but still. Oh man, if he gets his Queen, that'll help out quite a bit as well.
Oh, so low.
Yep.
But he does drop a lot of infested Terrans down, going right after that hatchery. And no attack, range attack upgrades yet for those infested Terrans, but there's still plenty enough of them to take down the hatchery.
Yep, that's right. And more infested Terrans coming down, just distracting ViBe. Doing more damage here. So ViBe, you know, he's had a supply lead all game, but he's been taking hits to his economy over and over again. But the thing is Sleep is starting to get to the position where he needs to think about actually killing ViBe, because if ViBe does get 3 bases significantly going, if he you know, will be able to use that tech advantage that he has to kind of come back and possibly make one sort of big concerted effort attack that Sleep can't afford to ignore. So it's getting to be a bit of a tense situation for Sleep as well. He's done damage, but he hasn't quite killed his opponent yet.
IPL, we don't play cheap ZVZs.
That's right.
We're passing the 20-minute mark on this one, so 2 ZVZs and combined 1 hour between them so far.
That's Pretty crazy, actually.
No kidding.
Yep.
And this one still going for a while. Sleep is almost max once again. He is making 12 roaches now. He'll have a total of 18 tunneling claws and +1 ranged attacks as well. But look at the huge amount of infestors, and then add the other ones on top of that as well.
No
24 infestors on the field for him right now.
Yeah, now it looks like ViBe is trying to go for a Greater Spire here in a moment and go for Broodlords, which will be interesting here. He'll need to kind of sit back and turtle and play a little bit more defensively, which isn't a bad idea. It's a good strategy to go for when you know you can't really be as active out on the map, and this is why I think these roaches are going to demonstrate for us right now.
Yeah, very much so. It's a lot of Zergling sitting there with +2 melee attacks as well. ViBe burrowing, though, and of course roaches do regen health very, very quickly while burrowed.
Yep, but that Overseer is going to put a stop to that very, very quickly here. ViBe kind of doing something similar to what he did last game, adding on some Hydralisks, just getting his Spire up, getting his Hive up just for the possibility of Broodlords later on. Just kind of preparing himself for that late game, even if he doesn't need to go there right away.
Yeah, may use it for some upgrades here in a bit as well. And taking a look around now, this base trying to come up for ViBe. He's very close to having that finished. There's a ton of infestors here. A few more off to the right-hand side as well. An amazing amount of infested Terrans already getting put down, along with a bunch of fungal growth as well. Is that enough to go ahead and decimate this force? Sleep is losing a lot of infestors here.
Yes, he is. That's a huge amount of gas being taken away from Sleep. With losing those infestors, it looks like ViBe might barely have enough. The fungals definitely slowing down the roaches, and they are all getting very, very low, but Sleep needs to pull back. Oh, great counterattack at the natural, though.
Yeah, it looks like there were a few infestors sitting there. Once again, though, Sleep is way down in supply, but he is denying bases and economy continually throughout this game. In fact, we can see there's been 4 workers killed, but that base has been denied over and over and over again. Really, look at this, though. ViBe forced to put so many workers sitting on those empty mineral patches where they're not worth a whole lot. ViBe is trying to counterattack. At the same time, we're going to have infested Terrans on infested Terrans here.
That's right, and if the infested Terrans from ViBe focused on the hatchery, doesn't look like it's going to be enough to win that. Here comes the rest of his army here.
Yeah, let's see as ViBe, wow, a few of those units just disappearing. He is still, oh wow, actually now 21 roaches coming out for Sleep, so trying to equalize that number. We're at the 24-minute mark. This CVC does not look like it has a conclusion in the very near future.
Here we go again. Oh, except for that great fungal from Sleep. You had to say it, didn't you?
I know, no kidding.
That looks like a conclusive amount of fungals right there. Well, actually, he still does have a great amount of fungals. I was kind of expecting some more units to come with that, but Sleep only has infestors, apparently. The roaches not quite popping out in time. They were on the way, but couldn't get there for that particular fight, it looks like.
Still does have 19 infestors there. Big attack coming in for ViBe as well. Infestors don't have enough energy for fungals, though, and I think as soon as ViBe realizes that, and he does, he starts to push his way up a little bit, but Sleep, does he have enough with these reinforcements coming in? It looks like those roaches for ViBe were soft enough, enough.
Yep, that's right. They took a lot of damage from those earlier fungals here. ViBe kind of running low on resources. He has to transfer some drones over to his 4th to get his economy going again. Yeah. And now he's the one behind in supply by about 40 right now. Yeah. It's going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, those drones may not have wanted to transfer there after all.
No, apparently not. And it looks like, but ViBe is going to be able to save that position. Sleep could go to the high ground and pick off a couple of units if he so desires. Oh, but he's actually counterattacking into the main as well. And ViBe really does not have a response for this. He can't be in 2 places at once with this few units, and Sleep may have put this over the edge.
I think so, yeah. ViBe doesn't quite have enough to defend both fronts. He's going for a counterattack at the 4th base of Sleep here, but you know, once these units get cleaned up, that's going to be, I think, about it for ViBe.
Yeah, pretty big supply disparity now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Sleep take this game.
All right, well, 7 Mutalisks coming up for ViBe. It's his last-ditch effort. I don't know if that alone is going to be enough, though. These roaches inside of the main have wreaked quite a bit of havoc.
Yeah, pretty much. Look at that. It's so foggy you can almost not see the infestation.
Much like San Francisco.
A little
Except I don't think we have infestation pits.
No, I was going to say I've never seen an infestation pit in San Francisco, although some districts you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Well, looks like Sleep is just kind of finishing off his opponents here. Good run by ViBe, but
very good.
Sleep just a little bit too strong in the CVZ.
Yeah, still in
Cloud Kingdom.
An incredibly impressive performance for ViBe, though. I mean, great to see him take those 3 wins, but Sleep looks like he is going to be able to finish things up. ViBe just hanging on to his that's pretty much all he's got left right now.
He's got that.
Yes, he does.
Right.
Hydralisk Den and a bunch of infestors coming up for Sleep as well. So, and it looks like he's going to pick off a few workers as they run on by.
Yep. Those workers are just long distance mining anyway. Looks like the hive going down. And yeah, I think we're going to probably see a GG from GoSu.ViBe pretty soon here, making this kind of last-ditch effort with the Mutalisks. But one infestor could really kind of make them have a bad day here. That one does have enough for a fungal. Oh, he does catch some mutas.
Yeah. There it is. GG, and Sleep has now taken a game back for
Yeah.
CheckSix.